Some days I'd be willing to trade my man for a really good what?
Pool boy.
Occasionally, I'd exchange my person for a great widow rapture. Cover your ears, child. She didn't hear that anything that like I wish I realized. Then that I know now I realized, I presumably realized that don't allow this fragment to wreck our marriage. You came on this show. We was great and cheerful. It's been a couple of days since the web detonated due to the charges that Marjorie Harvey couldn't be betraying Steve. And albeit the couple furiously denied all reports a portion of the relatives didn't avoid the opportunity to blabber in no way other Lori Harvey has as of late spilled the tea on what truly occurred in the family and folks. It seems like she had affirmed all unfaithfulness charges. It's like I wouldn't exchange the information I got for anything precisely. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. While the entire world is pondering did or didn't Marjorie Harvey have an unsanctioned romance with the family faculty, it seems to be her girl Lori became weary of her mom, definitely standing out and keeping in mind that nobody expected such an amazing finale in this show. It seems like Lori had affirmed that her mother has been having devotion issues for a really long time anyway. The model and socialite doesn't believe that her sensation disclosures will some way or another stain her mother's relationship with Steve. And I believe that was truly similar to the point that I needed to get to of like you're great, notwithstanding great anyway. This shakes out since the news broke out. The public has been intently watching the Harvey mix group sitting tight for the response. First, Steve himself scattered all tales, saying during his appearance at the 2023 Contribute Fest that he and his better half were completely fine. I don't have the foggiest idea what you're doing, yet find another thing to do in light of the fact that we find Master Show kindness man. I ain't got no time for bits of gossip, and tattle gods genuinely taking care of me. I'm as yet gleaming, yet his words didn't persuade many individuals, and nobody anticipated that someone else should toll in and spill more obscure subtleties of what's going on behind the shut entryways of the Harvey's extravagant chateau. In no way other Steve's number one girl Lori offered reality with regards to disloyalty that was dreadful. No doubt it's the most stunning thing to know, particularly for Steve, in light of the fact that he has forever been placing Lori over some other of his children, natural or embraced. Yet evidently she's seeking after her own plan by attempting to show the world that her mother is unapproachable and she can do anything she desires in this relationship. Don't allow anyone to take you off your platform. Don't allow anyone to contact your crown and pursue all that you need in life. Well, it's one thing to remove a father from a family and drag all regard for yourself, yet circulating the grimy material in open, it seems like an excess of in any event. For Twit Lori, as insiders presently guarantee, Lori doesn't have a lot occurring in her own life right now, so she's effectively attempting to partake in her mother's separation injury. In the event that you didn't realize it, folks, following Marjorie and Steve's association in marriage, the television have happened to officially take on Marjorie's children from her past relationships, including Lori. And since the very beginning, Marjorie has been determined to show Lori everything, becoming showbiz royalty and fruitful. And as certain insiders currently guarantee, there haven't been any privileged insights between these two. I assume, I swear, throughout the long term, she's shown me so much separated from Marjorie's full trust. Lori additionally approached the wealth and data different kin could merely fantasize about, and that is the reason she knew about the filthy insider facts of her mother and father. And you can see that she plainly partook in this place of the most loved kid who was washed in extravagance and consideration, since pre-adulthood being all around showed by her mom Lori is partaking in the advantages of having Steve Harvey as her dad, particularly with regards to high-end food, extravagance gifts, and costly vehicles. And it seems like Lori has been ruined to the point that she doesn't peruse the room and uses sound judgment, particularly with regards to her folks' connections. Clearly she is pleased that Marjorie could fool Steve into wedding her without prenup that the two women have no apprehension about losing Steve as their treasure trove. When I emerge with my folks, I simply bring my wallet for embellishment. I never truly plan to utilize it. Now Steve is by all accounts trapped in a gigantic by Marjorie. And since he ruled against the prenup, it implies that separating from Marjorie could cost him half of his well-deserved millions. Yet as Lori accepts neither of them is going anyplace, since this shared understanding works flawlessly, while Marjorie fills in as a strikingly gorgeous spouse for Steve. She is permitted to do anything with anybody, whether it's guardian or individual culinary specialist cool kid. What did you say as Lori accepts Steve? Must choose the option to follow his mother's lead, since she outfoxed the unbelievable relationship developed and fooled him into wedding her without a prenup in spite of the fact that around then, Steve was at that point making huge number of dollars. He was so dazed by his adoration for this woman. When I saw I quit breathing, he was unable to try and figure that in 15 years, she would trade him for another man, making the notorious television have a fool all around the web. Many fans are presently saying that it's all Steve's shortcomings starting from the beginning, and he might have shown preferable judgment over pursuing a lady with a seriously brave past and problematic standing. As one client composed that relationship specialist said he needn't bother with a prenup. In that frame of mind of Fred Sanford, our IP, you large sham, and another client added, I don't fall, Marjorie. She is a finance manager. Well, it seems as though Marjorie did everything squarely in her relationship with Steve. And there are even bits of gossip, now that the popular television have sneaks around his better half, since he doesn't need another muddled separation. And losing his millions, which conflicts with Cultivator's own proclaiming about connections, whether you said a final farewell to me then. At that point, Oak fine, him a move past you with one more you, and the entire thing of being under Marjorie's impact was to some degree affirmed by Steve's have Shirley Strawberry, who as of late stood out as truly newsworthy too, with her stunning disclosures that Steve as a matter of fact fears Marjorie, and that is the reason she is permitted to do anything she needs. And as it turned out, Steve isn't invited in his own home that he had bought for his mixed family. Marjorie is extremely bustling turning it, and to her extravagance quarters with private spa sauna and boutique, her own exercise room, and her own spa. And she could go in there and get needs consistently individuals come to her home. Has surely added Steve felt like an outsider in his own home, and he was ensuring that his presence was not disturbing his significant other on the off chance that she was there. We presumably could not have possibly been all around the house. You realize he's frightened. I realized I shouldn't have been there, yet he got us well. It seems to be the relationship master is going through a few emergency himself. And surprisingly, his number one girl, Lori, needs to add more dramatization in question by saying that the famous television have is following her mother's lead. While Steve considered his association with Marjorie a gift, as a matter of fact, it brought him more issues than ever previously. Yet it seems like another separation would deplete every one of his assets and cash. He doesn't understand. I'm the lady of the house. And on the off chance that anybody comes to our home as a reflection on me, so it appears as though the whole family is attempting to quiet the embarrassment with cheating straightaway and continue on. Even Marjorie herself attempted to show that she and her family are over the tattles that are going around, as she read on her Instagram, my better half. And I don't typically stop to address all the stupidity and falsehoods that have been spread about us anyway. To whom much is given, much is required. This was obviously before Lori took the spotlight. Neither Steve nor Marjorie anticipated that their little girl Lori should assume a part in the entire wreck, and approaching with additional subtleties. It's anything but a mysterious that Lori and Marjorie are exceptionally close and presumably share grimy insider facts when Steve's not home. I have a little, insane side. Music. Marjorie has unquestionably made good decisions. and she is presently in the influential place despite the fact that she doesn't appear to be leaving Steve on the grounds that approaching his ledger opens a ton of entryways. Before her, she doesn't care about some zesty show rotating around her persona now. With additional fascinating subtleties coming about this story, it appears as though Steve had squandered the greatest long stretches of his life on two totally voracious and terrible ladies. And he's gradually acknowledging what a wreck his affection for Marjorie had hauled him into. He burned through a ton of time. Currently, fans are saying that Steve understood what he was consenting to when he wedded this woman without prenup. And since he did an extremely unfortunate record verification on Marjorie and welcomed a genuine snake into his home, he needs to some way or another arrangement with the entire circumstance. Essentially, individuals on the virtual entertainment doesn't feel frustrated about his hardships as one client.